Now then, if I was an actor and my agent said I'd got a part playing opposite Michelle Collins, I think I'd pack my bulletproof vest, because the blokes in her screen life do not last long. Ian Beale shot in a drive-by, and in a new series, which starts tonight on ITV, she makes Henry VIII look like a one-girl man.
Could I have the bride and groom, please? If you'd like to just come. It'll just be a few minutes. Have you been married again since that divorce?
No.
If I could ask you to confirm your name?
Julie Vera Harding.
Are you known, or have you ever been known, by any other name?
No.
And have you ever been through any previous form of marriage in this country or any other country?
No.
Michelle, you don't look there like as if you're playing someone who's ruthless and predatory and utterly nasty. You look like you're playing somebody quite fragile.
Well, she is very fragile, and that's what sort of interested me in the beginning. Wasn't about the serial bigamy thing. It was, you know, what drives a woman to do this, because it's not quite normal to want to be married sort of 8 times, in which Julie is, and never a divorce. You know, what drives women to do that? And so, yeah, she is very fragile, and as it sort of unravels, you find out that there's actually something really disturbing that's gone on in her past, and basically, you know, she's very dysfunctional.
Is she repeatedly, illegally getting remarried all the time because she seeks sort of validation, you know, getting married and somebody saying yes and I do?
But the reason it's called perfect, you know, is that basically, you know, she's not doing it for a mercenary way, she's not doing it for money, she doesn't marry rich men, or... She basically does it because she thinks she's in love with these people. And she's actually quite naive in a way, and she thinks that once she gets married, it's that sort of, that day you're getting married, all that attention, isn't it fantastic? And
so she's addicted to the actual wedding ceremony?
Yes, and then afterwards, when suddenly things become normal and not perfect anymore, she runs away and she can't quite cope with the normality of it.
And she loves the white wedding thing. I mean, does she always wear the big white frocks?
She always wears white, yes.
And is she you know, you can't give us too much away, but is she in total denial about what she's doing? You know, when she goes up there after the 8th time, does she...
Completely and utterly. I mean, you know, I did a lot of research, and it's about mothers and daughters and you know, secrets, lies, you know, and I read a fantastic book by Margaret Forster called Shadow Baby.
Oh, yes.
Do you know? Which is a fantastic book, and lots of cuttings. I mean, some of the cuttings were really funny that Susan Udo showed me. There's one woman who would only marry husbands who were called Dave.
And as soon as she was found a Dave, she was off from the last one.
That's right. And then there's another woman who, and then you find out, you know, they've all had pretty sort of shady past. And then another woman who basically found out that her sister was actually her mother, and didn't find out, and she was sort of 14. And that's, you know, those sort of things affect you later on in life. And I think we all have a bit of damage.
You've spoken only about women so far, though. Is it like more likely for women to be bigamous than it is for men?
No, I don't think so. I think people are quite surprised that it's about a woman, which is quite nice for a change. You know, we always think of a man getting away with bigamy.
I think it's a curious sort of, you know, bit of human...
It's much harder for women. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
But I think because, you know, we have children, we have families, and men can be sort of a bit more transient, I think, than women. And also the reason why Julie does get away with this is because she hasn't got children and she's a nurse, so she can move around the country quite a bit.
I get the impression for men, from the few bigamists that we've ever sort of interviewed or talked to on this programme. No, but
don't look at me like that.
No, but what appeals to me is, what appeals to them rather, is that they're changing their life really radically. They're kind of buying into another family life, and that somehow
endless fresh
that really appeals to them. Whereas for someone like Julie, she's kind of she's just addicted to the
marriage process.
The adrenaline and all the rest of it.
And I think she's looking for it, and she doesn't, you know, she doesn't really go out there outwardly to hurt people. And there are no kids involved, and I think you're going down a different territory when there are kids, and, you know, she really generally has got a heart of gold. But she just has a very destructive streak in her.
What I was going to say earlier was I can see why bigamy has to be illegal, and why, you know, if you do it, you have to be kind of sorted out by the law. But I can never find myself outraged by the concept of it. I mean, it just seems to me a bit funny and a bit odd. I don't see it as a serious...
It's a prison sentence, I know.
It's a prison sentence job, isn't it?
It's a prison sentence. And,
do you understand that?
I don't give too much away, but she, you know, she does.
Yeah, pay certain penalties for what she does.
Yeah, you have to, I suppose. You have to be seen, otherwise we'd all be going around doing it, wouldn't we, really? It's actually hard work getting married. I mean, I think, God, Yeah. How'd you do it?
Yeah. I mean, didn't you nearly get married once and then you woke up 4 hours too late?
I did, yeah. in my youthful wild days, and yeah, we were supposed to be getting married at Marylebone office at 9:30, and we woke up at 9 o'clock and went...
Was anyone meant to be coming?
But a few close friends, but I think they'd been out with us that night anyway, so it was okay.
Oh, what the hell.
But it wasn't meant to be, you know. I just think, you know, marriage, we sort of take it a bit too lightly, really.
I don't know how people cope with very big weddings.
I don't.
couldn't do it. No.
I thought you wanted a big wedding.
No, I didn't. Well, I did, until we tried, and then I didn't.
It was just too much bother, wasn't it? It was too much hassle. Anyway, listen, we're out of time. It's on at 9 o'clock tonight and tomorrow.
No, week on Monday.
Week on Monday, so sorry.
Next Monday, and it's got Kathy Tyson in it, Richard Hawley, Rosemary Leach plays my mother.
Right.
Fantastic cast.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Get lost.
See ya.
Stay with ITV for the latest on the Istanbul hostage drama, which involved British hotel guests, and Lennox Lewis, flat on...
Acres of sky. This is the third visit to Ron and Say.